What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Currently, guys, I am on the test server because I can actually move gear around and do a lot of mess and don't care about it. Basically, guys, in today's video, I want to talk about one of the most underrated faction unity champions in the entire game. Now, they've added all of the faction unity champions for every single faction. So I just kind of want to show you what you could potentially do with the champion. A lot of people say that he is one of the worst out of all of the faction unity champions, but I feel like you're missing the bigger picture with this champion. I feel like people might be thinking at using him as a crowd control rather than what he actually is. And that can be an amazing turn meter booster. Now, one thing to keep in mind, guys, the Barbarian faction is actually pretty damn strong now, okay? You have Thor, which is a great damage dealer. You have Xena. You have, of course, Alice as a mythical champion. You have Armans. You have Loki. You have Odin in here. You have Freya. So you can definitely pull off some pretty crazy things with this faction, especially if we're talking about siege mode. To be honest, for arena only, you can, if you want, to use just barbarians and make a pretty solid team. But I feel like the main place where they're going to shine the most is going to be the siege mode. But of course, for arena as well. Now, if we are talking about live arena, I feel like it's going to be pretty easy for the enemy to just basically ban Gregor out of your team. And then kind of like the entire team crumbles in live arena. But for classic arena, is actually a completely different thing. So let me just quickly go over his kit. With the A1, basically, you have a chance to put a provoke. With the A2, an AoE attack decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by a turn and increases the duration of all buffs by a turn and places a shield on all of your team. With the A3, increase attack, increase accuracy on all allies. If you have full faction, so 3 more faction allies in the team, activates an instant turn on the ally with the highest crit damage, which is actually really strong. You're gonna get 20% turn meter and decreases the cooldown of all ally skills except these champions by 1 turn. Now, this is better when you're using this skill for the second time, especially if you're basically going with this strategy. The passive is pretty strong because one attack has a chance to provoke. That can be really, really annoying. When you have a faction ally, your teammates will do more damage if they are under crowd control debuffs. The enemies, if are under crowd control debuffs, not the allies. 2 faction allies. All of your allies will ignore 50% of the target's resistance when applying crowd control debuffs, which is really, really strong. And with a full team, when counterattacking, instant effects and debuff placed by all skills cannot be resisted or blocked. Now, this, of course, is not really going to work for every single champion that you have in the team, because they do need to provide some value with a basic skill. You have a defense and an accuracy aura in all battles. Let me just quickly show you the build. So I built him fast. I have some decent amount of accuracy on the champion. That's mainly because the A1 will provoke, the passive will provoke. 426 speed, pretty good speed on him. But to be honest, for Platinum Arena, Gold for Live Arena, this is slow, as crazy as it sounds. Then, of course, we have the following masteries: defense and support. I decided to go with Eagle Eye to gain some extra accuracy. You can always go with timely intervention or something else that will allow the champion to rotate a bit more often. I do have temporal chains on him at the moment, and I have some relics as well, which is the Wand of Submission. Extra speed, HP, and accuracy once we're gonna have it to a higher level. So let me just quickly show you what you can do with Gregor and why he's not the worst faction unity champion in the game. He's honestly by far not the worst, okay? So if we're gonna go versus this team, let me just quickly filter it, and I'm gonna put faction just barbarians. I'm gonna take this one out, and I can bring in, for example, either Xena, either Odin, right? Like, both of them will actually work. But let's bring in Xena this time around. So we have our mans, we have the speed lead. You don't need to use Odin. If you don't have him, you can always use Loki, for example. Loki is actually a pretty good champion too. He will buff your team. He will give them more turn meter. He can be a pretty nasty threat. So right here, just straight off the back, you're going to do this. and your damage dealer will instantly take a turn, and you're gonna have that increased attack. AoE attack will ignore 5% of the target's defense. This is attacks all enemies, 10% of the target's defense. So you have a couple of different options. Now, if I'm gonna go with an AoE attack right now, that Rotos is going to most likely take a turn and probably kill somebody. So instead, I'm just gonna go A1 and hope for... Okay, I still proc his passive. Then you have Armans, which will count in front of the will cut in front of the enemy because we gain so much turn meter. Then we can polymorph somebody, for example. Let's polymorph Rotos in there. Loki, he can either buff your team, either put block active skills, right? So we can do that on Sifi, spread the debuffs on everybody else, and now they cannot really do nothing. We're gonna gain a shield, bang, and now we can go in with the damage dealer and just wipe the enemies, and slowly deal with that Rotos as well. Decrease the turn meter, gain more turn meter, make sure we have that increased attack, another A1 in there, counter attack, you can do that, no problem. And slowly, with the damage dealer, we're going to take another turn and wipe the enemy. So, I think it's really, really nice, especially for the siege mode, as I've mentioned. Now, I am not trying to sell him as OP in Arena, you gotta use the full Barbarian team, because it's very dependent of a full Barbarian team to really make it work. But as I've mentioned, you have really strong champions in the Barbarian team now, so you can definitely pull off some pretty crazy things. So, for example, if I'm going to drop him from here, let's bring in Odin, and we can drop Xena, and where is freaking Thor? Thor, Feyhammer, where are you hiding? Am I being blind? I changed my filter. I was gonna say, like, what is my filter? Stop removing my filter, game. There we go. So now we can actually do some other things in here. For example, once again, the same thing. Thor is already taking a turn. So we're gonna do that. Bang! Insta nuke. We can do that. So we make sure that is not going to revive. We can try to do that if we're not hearing reaction. If we are, let's apply the defense down and the stun. Ancora is back. We can control a bit the turn meter with our mans, right? And now the damage dealer can come back in and wipe the rest once we're gonna take a turn. And bang, another AoE. I mean, weak hit. Does it even matter? Thor is actually pretty nasty for Arena too. A lot of people tend to forget that he ignores that block damage and stuff. Let's try to find another team, and this one right here looks pretty good as well. So lots of HP burn, and I'm still gonna keep Thor in here. Actually, I could bring in Xena or something else, but we're gonna roll as it is. If they don't have Stone Skin, we're just probably gonna insta wipe them. There we go. So they don't have a lot of Stone Skin, only on one champion. Thor comes in, wipes the rest. We cannot polymorph this one, but let's try to remove the buffs at least, so we can apply the stun. Bang. Extra turn, and that's because of the relic. I am using it on Odin, the Chrono Cube. And bang, we wipe this one off as well. So I feel like if you are using him like this as a turn meter booster, you're going to be able to actually gain pretty solid value out of him. Let's go versus this one, and let's change a bit the damage dealer. Let's bring in Alice, for example, and instead of Odin, let's bring in Freya. Freya, where are you? There we go. So we got in Freya. I might get locked in here because I might not have the crowd control to basically deal with the issue. Okay, hopefully we're not going to weak hit. Okay, we killed him. Now we can polymorph our mans with Freya. Let's try to boost the turn meter a bit more. I'm sure they're gonna take a turn before us. Okay, so we survived because of Freya's passive. So right now I can actually try to basically kill that Armans. Let's put a shield on us. That Narcissus is pretty dangerous. Oh, and he's gonna take a turn before me. Okay, so we lost this one. We lost this one because I needed more control in the team. So if I'm gonna bring Odin instead of Freya, for example, that's going to work much better. So Let's take Freya out of here. Let's bring back Odin just to have enough control, right? That's the main thing that that matters. So right now, buff. Let's hope that we're gonna kill. Oh, we weak hit. That's fine. I'm gonna take his thermometer. Hopefully, I'm gonna go in front of his Armans. Beautiful. But I think I'm going to polymorph Narcissus just to make sure he's not gonna kill nobody. I've done a mistake before as well because instead of doing that, I focused on dealing with Armans. Okay, so we have the block damage from Odin, which is helpful. He got provoked because he increased the duration of buffs on us. So right now I can either Metamorph, either go in with the A1 to try and kill that Narcissus, but I'm going to Metamorph and just drop a big nuke like this. Enough damage to kill him. Beautiful. Let's take him down too. So now they have that Stone Skin on Ancora. Okay, he got revived, which is fine. We have the block damage from Odin. You see, it is definitely making a difference if you're using the right combination of champions in here. Provoke on Ancora, which got removed because of the passive. If you guys remember when Gregor was part of the dungeon event, the very first one, that was so freaking annoying, all of those provokes, man. I think it was the first one, right? Now we can just deal with the rest. So Gregor is really not the worst faction unity champion. I think he is definitely in a, I would say probably top 7, top 8, around top 8 in my opinion. We have a few of them that are not as great. They don't really bring that much utility. So I think Gregor is actually pretty damn solid. And as I've mentioned, you can 1000% run him in the siege mode and make a strong barbarian team. So let's actually try to play it a bit different here. So we're gonna bring in Freya, and as a damage dealer, we can either bring in Xena or we can bring in Thor. Who should we bring in? Let's bring in Xena. They're gonna get some buffs, right? We should get a bit of thermometer, but I don't think they're gonna gain a lot of buffs. Not enough buffs anyway. Okay, so now let's just wipe that Kymar. Beautiful. We can just polymorph the damage dealer just to be safe. To make sure he's not gonna kill us. I was hoping for a weak hit there. The Wand of Submission came in play. Drop the stun back on Armans. Now we can cleanse. So my Armans is back on track. We can drop an AoE right there. Increase the duration of buffs and all the good stuff. Control with Armans once again. Ooh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. The Magma Shield, right? Is that what killed him? And now, bang, another AoE and wipe them off. Gregor, guys, I just wanted to show you what you can actually do with the champion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I just wanted to keep it nice and short. I feel like this is the best way to use Gregor. Let me know your opinion as well. As usual, appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.